Hi, hello, how are you? Good morning, happy no, it's Tuesday. I had off yesterday, so my week is really just starting today, and I keep thinking that it's Monday, but good morning, happy Monday. I have a small reading update for you. Last night I read Frieren Volume 9. This is by Kanhito Yamada. It is an animated series on Crunchyroll, and I recommend it so much. It's so good. They just got renewed for season 2, but the graphic novel, the manga, is on hiatus. So I don't really know how that works. I only have up to 9. The series goes up to like volume 6. So there is at least enough out for another season. I just don't know what would happen with season 3, but I only have up to 9. There is a comic book store near us that I saw has some of the Frieren comics, so I'm curious to see if they have like anything past 10, because it was my understanding that only 1 through 9 was translated in English, because this is originally in Japanese. So I might have to go and ask if potentially they could order it for me. I saw on Goodreads that 14 is set to come out in March, but I don't know if that's like releasing in general or being translated in English. So this was a little lackluster. I gave it a 3 stars. It was okay. I just felt like it was a little bit lacking and kind of disappointing that this is my final one, and that's the one that I like ended on. Our characters are in the Northern Plateau, which is like the Demon King's territory. They're getting close to where he is, and they always stop on like all of these little side quests. So they do a little side quest to get some money. They defeat like this wolf demon to help this town, and then they get to this bridge with a dwarf who Frieren knew from like 100 years ago when she was traveling with Himmel and her original like demon hunting party. She helps him on another side quest where she defeats these like huge weird toucan bird things, and then they cross and they get to what's called the Golden Land. It was the city of Weiss, and the king there tried to trap a demon into doing its bidding and make their land prosper. And he tells him that like he puts them under this like cuffs spell and says you can do no malice to the city or its people, and he does turn it to gold, and like everybody is turned to gold, but demons in like this world don't really understand the word of malice. They don't think of humans really as even anything, so they don't think of causing them any sort of harm or malice. So that's his like way of getting around it. But he has also trapped the like magical association has put a spell barrier over this little town so that he can't get out. But Denkin, who is a first-class mage, he is from that city, and so he goes and he asks to be the guardian of this post, and he's able to walk inside, and the demon, I think his name is Mocked. It's spelled like yacht, but with an M. So Mocked, I'm not 100% sure, isn't able to harm him because part of his like bracelet's curse demands was that he couldn't harm anybody from that city. So he goes in and he spends time and he talks to him. He's trying to figure out a way to defeat him. Frieren and her gang show up. They also go in and are able to speak with him. And Frieren she doesn't believe demons. She knows that they lie. She knows that all they want to do is kill humans. And Denkin is kind of trying to convince her that this guy might be wanting to like pursue coexistence with humans, but she doesn't believe it for a second. That's just kind of where we left off, and it's like nothing big really happened. It was just a filler comic. But I still really love this series, and I'm definitely going to go to that comic book store and see if they can order the rest of them for me. And then I think I'm going to pick this up. It's The Good Neighbors by Holly Black and Ted Nefay. It is like a whole trilogy. And I think it's set in Fairy, where like the rest of her series are set, from The Wicked King and Tithe, Valiant, those ones. So I just kind of picked this up at the end of last year to help me reach my reading goal. And then I just had too much to do at the end of the year and never got to it. But I'm trying to leave a little bit of time in between reading Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn to let my sister catch up. But I'm seeing all of these like memes and videos and reels on Instagram of what happens in Tower and Dawn and Kingdom of Ash, and it's making me want to read it so much. But I'm trying to give her a few days. I'm gonna call her on like Thursday and ask like, have you made any progress? And if she hasn't, I'm just gonna move forward and keep reading, because I have never reread this series before and I've forgotten so much, and I just feel really like I'm into the series and I want to hold on to that and keep going. So this is what I'm going to read next. It's probably going to take me 2 sittings. And this will be my 4th book, which was my goal. But my goal was to finish like Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash, which I don't think I'll be able to do. I might be able to finish Tower of Dawn. I do have an audiobook for it. I don't have one for Kingdom of Ash, but we'll see. I am going to get back to work and I will update you later. I really wish I had a more aesthetic background. My bookshelves are over here, but the window is here. So this is where I get the best light, and you can just see all of the sweaters that I need to hang up. This is where we store, like all my yarn is on the bottom shelf. My husband sells stuff on eBay, so everything that he sells is on the top 2 shelves. It's a mess, and I don't know how to position myself to block it out, but I wanted to give you a reading update. I am still getting used to where I should be looking, and I just watch myself the whole time, but then I feel like I'm not making eye contact with you, so I'm really sorry about that. But I started The Good Neighbor last night. This is a trilogy, so I read the first comic, which is Kin, I believe. Yeah, book 1 is Kin. Book 2 is Kith, which I'll start and finish tonight. On Goodreads, you can track this as reading the whole trilogy, which would just be like 1 book towards my reading goal, or I can track it as 3 separate ones, which I'm gonna do to just pad my reading goal a little bit. The first one was weird. I like the plot. Our main character, Rue, it starts off with her mom has been gone for like 3 weeks. Her dad has been sitting on the couch the entire time. And I guess her mom has done this before. I'm not really sure, but they haven't seen her. And she's kind of trying to find her. And she's out with her friends. I think she's got a boyfriend. They like to wear masks and go to abandoned places and take pictures and post them online. And one day she gets home and the cops have arrested her dad in connection with her mom's disappearance and the murder of a student at his school who people say like he was the last person seen with. And her dad's like friend is like, you'll come stay with me, don't worry, like we'll go see him tomorrow. They go see him in court the next day, and her mom's dad is there, and she has never met any of her mom's side of the family. So she's like super skeptical about who this guy is. He's like, I'm getting custody of you, you're coming with me. And she's like, no way, definitely not. He is with this guy, I don't remember what his name is, that later on comes to tell her that like his curse is that he always tells the truth even if he doesn't really know what he's saying. And he kind of makes this like prophecy interpretation to her grandfather that the only person that can take him down is his flesh and blood, his kin. And so her grandfather interprets that as her being the person that's going to destroy him, I guess, and like kind of captures her, but she's able to escape. And when she gets home, her mom is there all of a sudden, and she's like, don't worry, I'm going to set the record straight. I'm dying, but like this will get your dad out of jail. And then there's like this weird time jump to her mom being dead. before her mom dies, she's like talking to her, and somebody had mentioned changelings to her. And she asks her mom, she's like, you remember that time when I dyed my hair blue and like you just loved it? And her mom is like, oh yeah, I do remember that. And she's like, I never dyed my hair blue. You're a changeling. After her mom dies, which we just, like I said, just cut to, all of a sudden her mom's dead, her dad's home. It's super weird. She and her friends dig up her mom and they find like a wooden corpse almost. It's just like a scarecrow in her coffin. And she's like, my mom's not dead. She must be in Fairy. Her father must have captured her and they're like holding her for ransom. I'm gonna get her back. It also turns out that like the reason why her mom had to go back is because her dad cheated on her with his like coworker, and that was part of their agreement when her grandfather agreed to let her mom stay with her father. I'm sorry, this is super confusing. That he would cause no harm to her, and by sleeping with his coworker, that's invalidated, so she's been taken back to Fairy is like my assumption. But it was good. I like the like bones of the story, but there were these weird jumps where all of a sudden it was like 3 weeks later, a month later, her mom is dead, and I was like, I feel like we missed so much, and that like I would have liked more. So I'm gonna read the next one tonight, and then the third one Wednesday night. So I'll update you when I have fully finished. Hello, happy Monday. I am so tired. It was such a long weekend this week. Like having my knee be hurt, it's just really making everything so much more difficult than it needs to be. And I'm back at work. It's sunning now, but it was super gloomy and rainy yesterday. And I just wanted to sit on the couch. And I was so cozy underneath one of our blankets. And I did get up to go grocery shop, which really irritated my knee. But I came home and I just sat on the couch some more. And it was such a nice weekend. And I'm just exhausted today. I'm having such a difficult time getting to my own work because of having to deal with stuff from my coworkers. Like, they keep sending me things that I have to work on, and I'm like having to push back my own stuff, and it's so frustrating. I'm like a whole week behind on emails. I'm trying to catch up, and I spent this morning trying to catch up as much as I could, but I'm gonna have to now go back to other things and just feeling really stressed and overwhelmed, which really sucks. Reading wise, I have finished The Good Neighbors. I gave Kind, which is volume 3, 3.5 stars. So the first 2 were 3 stars. This was 3.5. It was slightly better. Our main character, Rue, has kind of figured out what her grandpa's plot was, which is basically to use these like magical daggers and plunge them into the earth and crack the city that they are in away from like the United States or wherever they are, and have it drift in the ocean and be its own separate like fairy isle. And she decides that is the only way she's gonna be able to save the humans, is if they set up a plan. All of the humans are along the edge. She cracks the like earth away and they jump over into the rest of the like city, and this little portion of it just floats away. Again, like the plot is super interesting. I liked the characters and like the world. It's just in like a comic graphic novel, I felt like we weren't getting enough and I really wanted more. Like as a book series, I would have really loved this. Like I think it could have been really, really great, but slightly better than the other ones, but only like half a star. So I finished that. That is 5 books this month, which does feel kind of cheating because it's 2 actual books, 3 comics, but I'm going to count it anyways. And then I started Tower of Dawn last night by Sarah J. Maas. This is the like actual cover. It is all from Kale's perspective. And my sister finished Empire of Storms and her daughter is sick today, so she can't go pick up Tower of Dawn, but she's hoping to go pick it up tomorrow. And I was like warning her, I was like, it's all from Kale's perspective. Like everything that just happened at the end of Empire of Storms, you are wanting so much conclusion to, and you're gonna have to wait until the final book, and then it's like so much gets put into the final book. And she's like, oh, I was looking on TikTok and seeing that like you could do the tandem read, and I was like, yeah, I thought that would be too much for you, but the tandem read makes sense, so the Tower of Dawn is not so boring. but there are some saving characters, so I'm looking forward to that. But I'm 50 pages in. I only read for a little bit last night. I was really, really exhausted, and it's freezing. Our bedroom has this huge window that spans like the whole wall almost, and it is not well insulated. Like, I can put my hand up near it and I can feel the cold air coming in. So I'm under a sheet, a blanket, a sheet, a comforter, and a blanket. I need to swap out our linens tonight for fleece linens because I'm getting so freezing at night. The other night I wore leggings to bed because I was so cold. But I'm 50 pages in. Kale is waiting for Irene to come from the Torre Chesme. And so I'm waiting for my sister to get to that point of where she realizes that this is another full circle moment, that Aelin gave Irene money and helped her get to the Torre Chesme, and it was like she unknowingly brought Kale, the nurse that's going to save him. That's like a fantastic full circle moment. I'm really looking forward to her call when she realizes that. But he's at the Torre Chesme. They're at the castle. He's waiting. The next day is like where I left off, that Irene is supposed to come down to him. And one of the like 5 siblings of the Coggin approaches him and is like, look, my sister just died, and I'm sorry if I'm looking back and forth. I'm so used to looking at myself, but the camera is over here. So one of my sisters just died, and we were super close, and I don't think that she killed herself. He thinks that it's got something to do potentially with the Vogue and why Kale and Nesrin are there. And I'm like slowly remembering who did it. But it's like I don't remember why, or like the full of what is going on. So I'm hoping to get into it a lot this week. I have an audiobook. I'm almost done with the sweater that I'm working on. I'm going to do the hem on the body and then work on the sleeves. I'm meeting my cousin on Friday in Grand Terrace, and it's near where like his brother's wife is, so I might be able to give it to her this weekend. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm really, really wanting to be done with it by the end of this month, or like by the end of this week at least, so that I can move on to other things. I'm over making this sweater, and I'm potentially not going to do another one this year. I might do one for my friend, but I will wait until Christmas time to work on it then. So I am going to end this vlog here. I'm very, very tired. I can tell that this is going to be difficult to edit later. I'm so scatterbrained right now. So I'm just going to end this here. I will start the new vlog when I have made progress in Tower of Dawn. And so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know how your January has been. This has been a pretty good month for me. I've had like several pretty good months. I feel like my mental health has been really good. Just focusing on a lot of my own personal activities, focusing on reconnecting with friends, spending time with them. I'm planning a Valentine's Day brunch for a bunch of the girls that came to my bachelorette party and to my wedding, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm looking forward to February, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.